Snoop comes in, according to Warren G, and he got this big walkie-talkie. They start hearing the gunshots. When we getting shot, Snoop listening to it in real time. Pow, 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 all over the radio. That's when he tell him, hey, I gotta go. They just killed Tupac and shot Suge. How would you know, Frank? I told all the security. I told everyone. Pac just beat up a well-known gang member. Send 4 or 5 guys extra to the house to escort Tupac to the club. Reggie Wright Jr. refused to send the security guys, refused to show up. That wasn't a coincidence. It was a murder for hire hit. It was a murder for hire hit. It was a murder for hire hit.
In a shocking and unexpected appearance on Piers Morgan, Suge Knight, the man who was in the car with Tupac Shakur the night he was gunned down, just dropped a nuclear bomb on the entire death row legacy. For nearly 30 years, conspiracy theories, conflicting accounts, and silence have shrouded the murder of one of hip-hop's greatest voices. But now, Suge is speaking, and he's naming names. For the first time ever, Suge publicly declared that Tupac's murder was a paid-for hit. He didn't mince words either. He called out longtime Death Row Records attorney David Kenner, and he pointed fingers at Reggie Wright Jr., the head of Death Row Security and ex-LAPD officer. He even pointed fingers at Snoop Dogg, accusing them all of either involvement or knowledge of what was going to happen that night in Vegas. Suge said something that chills the blood. That he specifically told Reggie to double the security detail that night following the altercation between Tupac and Orlando Anderson at MGM Grand. Instead, Reggie ordered the team to leave their guns behind, a move Suge says had never been done before. Backing Suge's claim is Tupac's former bodyguard, Michael Moore. Moore, who is now deceased, can be seen in previously released footage saying that he was told not to bring his firearm to work that night, and that it was so suspicious he decided not to show up at all. Suge also hinted that Snoop Dogg and members of the DPG may have had prior knowledge to what was coming, pointing out that Snoop didn't attend the Tyson fight even though Death Row made it a major company trip. But the real jaw-dropper, Suge revealed the reason he recently fired his decades-long attorney, David Kenner, the same man who helped him through trial after trial. Suge claims multiple Death Row security members heard Kenner on the walkie-talkies that night of the shooting, allegedly saying, "We got him," and warning others not to talk over the radios. If this is true, this would link one of the most powerful legal minds in West Coast rap history directly to the setup. This isn't just Suge Knight venting from behind bars. This is a man who seems to be ready to burn every bridge and bring every secret into light. And whether you believe him or not, you can't deny this changes everything.
Until you were alongside him in the car, many people have speculated since that Diddy ordered that death of Tupac. Is that your belief?
Well, first of all, I got a bullet still today, a 45 bullet an inch to my skull. You can look at my medical records and see the x-rays and see it's in my skull. They didn't remove it because they said if it would have went another inch, either I'd have been investable or dead. Now, as far as what they say Puffy did and didn't do, this is the facts. The facts of the matter is this. It was a guy named Reggie Wright Jr. It's a guy named Reggie Wright Jr. It's a guy named Reggie Wright Jr. who was over security. He didn't work directly for Death Row, but he had a security company called Right Way Security, who did security for Death Row with off-duty police officers or guys with a CCW. Everybody knows when we go to a fight in Vegas, we're going to be at the Tyson fight, and we're going to be at my club they call Club 662. Reggie Wright Jr. told the security they can't carry firearms. Told the security they can't carry firearms. The sad thing about that, Pac hated Reggie Wright Jr., so he had fired him before any of that. I don't know the right date, but I'm quite sure it was. It's paperwork that shows it. But the crazy thing about that, it was a bodyguard named Frank Alexander. Pac hated Frank. He was cool at first, but towards the end he hated Frank because Frank always wanted to get into pictures with Tupac. And Tupac was very militant, so he was like, man, I don't want a bodyguard taking pictures with me. How is he watching my back if he's getting himself in the pictures? So I hired a guy named Michael Moore and told him to bring another off-duty police officer because they kept their gun and they was real aggressive by protecting Tupac. So on the way to the fight, Reggie Wright Jr. tell Michael Moore he can't carry. So on the way to the fight, Reggie Wright Jr. tell Michael Moore he can't carry his weapon when he's doing bodyguard work for Tupac.
I've been to Club 662 on many of occasions, and never have they told me to leave my weapon. Why would I leave my weapons in a vehicle or in the hotel room and I'm personally guarding Pac in one of the most hottest places to be? I got into a little argument with Reggie Wright at lunch over it. He said, Mike, I'm putting Frank back on him and I'm taking you back off. And I said, Reggie, that part doesn't make sense. Why not leave me and Frank on Tupac?
At 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon in Las Vegas, at the Luxor, security was all brought together by Reggie Wright on the day that Pac was shot, and we were told not to carry weapons because we were all armed.
We were told specifically, do not carry your weapon.
And did you find that kind of strange? Yeah, everybody got to fight at the casino, and everybody thought it was strange. That why were guys told not to carry weapons? Even the cops that were there told not to carry weapons. Everybody was told not to carry weapons.
That's what we were told. Now, I, at the meeting, was asked one of the few questions. Why would you tell us not to carry our weapons? I think the reason they removed me from Tupac is because I was one of the few people that wouldn't buy into not carrying your weapon. And during no part of that day did I take my weapon off. And Mr. Wright knew that. And Mr. Wright knew that. And Mr. Wright knew that. So they removed me off Tupac so there wouldn't be a weapon there. So they removed me off Tupac so there wouldn't be a weapon there. When Reggie did that and I questioned it, Reggie did something that he's never done. He's never stayed at 662. That day, he stayed at the club. Then why would he need me there? And why would I be taken off of Tupac?
Michael Moore said, well, I'm going back to the hotel. If I can't carry my gun, I can't protect myself or Tupac, so I'm not going. So Reggie Wright Jr., who nicknamed that Pac gave him Pork Butt. So Pork Butt goes and says, Frank, you can go, but you can't bring your gun. Now, everyone knows you can't be a bodyguard without a gun. So after the fight, we come from the fight. Tupac got into it with another guy. It was a big fight. After that fight, after we stopped to a few places, we go to my house. I told Frank, I told all the security, I told everyone, Pac just beat up a well-known game member. Send 4 or 5 guys extra to the house to escort Tupac to the club. Reggie Wright Jr. refused to send the security guys, refused to show up. That wasn't a coincidence. It was a murder for hire hit. It was a murder for hire hit. It was a murder for... That wasn't a coincidence. It was a murder for hire hit. It was a murder for hire hit. It was a murder for hire hit. We was blocked in. It was more than one shooter. Only person know the truth, the real truth, is me and Tupac. He's not there to tell it. Only person who knows is myself. But Reggie Wright Jr. tried to change the whole story of the narrative, what actually happened, and he was not there. Snoop, who everyone knew at the time, wanted Tupac dead. Snoop had a meeting with Daz, Corrupt, Nate Dogg, the Dog Pound. Said, we're not going to Vegas. This is their words, not mine. We're not going to Vegas because basically something's going to happen. Somebody's going to get killed, right? So Corrupt tells the story and says, once he tells everybody they can't go to the fight and can't go to Vegas, turns around, Nate Dogg says, I'm going to go to Vegas. Then because I'm going to Vegas, I don't got to be around basically me and Pac. He said, I don't have to worry about getting shot or getting a stray bullet. That lets you know, premeditated plan. Warren G says, when the fight was going on, he was watching at his house. Snoop came over to watch the fight. Snoop had a walkie-talkie. These walkie-talkies, you only got this walkie-talkie that I bought for security and the principal that security doing security with. And they worked on all the West Coast. So if you're an artist and you're going to the mall or you're going somewhere, they have a walkie-talkie, security have a walkie-talkie. If you're not going to an event with any of the security details, you don't have a walkie-talkie. Because I didn't buy that many because I wanted to be exclusive. They had them out who was needed. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, so Snoop comes in, according to Warren G, and he got this big walkie-talkie. They start hearing the gunshots. When we getting shot, Snoop listening to it in real time. Pow, 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 all over the radio. That's when he tell him, hey, I got to go. They just killed Tupac and shot Suge. How would you know? Nobody sat there on the radio. You just heard the shots. Now, Reggie Wright Jr. and Michael Moore in the car. They get on the radio, and they say, hey, got him. Another guy hits on the radio. They say they think he's a white guy or a lawyer. And they say, hey, don't talk on the walkie-talkies on the radio. Don't talk on the air.
While I was working at 662, I heard something over the Nextels that we all carried for security. And what I heard was, got him, got him, got him. Then someone else came on the radio and said, hey, don't say nothing over the radio, which was the Nextels we were using radio to radio. And I just clearly heard somebody say, don't say that over the radio. But the person who said it was not homeboy security, nor was it one of our security guards. It was, to me, would be like a stranger. Someone, and the person that said that was Caucasian, definitely not African American.
Maybe, I don't know if it was 6 months or longer, however it was, since I've been in this prison right here. Somebody played that for me with Michael Moore said. So when I know that attorney David Kenner always says, you could be on your cell phone and people be talking like, hey, I'm talking on your cell phone. Somebody listening. They recorded and you can't do that. They're listening to you. So I know that's his saying. So jokingly, I told David, I said, hey, was that you on the walkie-talkie? Because that's your line. Don't talk on the phone. Now you're the one saying don't talk on the walkie-talkie. So that being said, David Kenner goes and says, Suge, I never had a walkie-talkie. I would never have a walkie-talkie. Would I need one for it? Never. So I'm saying, wow, he's so bent out of shape, but I was joking about it, right? I said, you never had a walkie-talkie? He said, that's not me talking on a walkie-talkie. I never said he was talking on a walkie-talkie. So that raised red flags, didn't think nothing much about it. So Kenner had sent some of my boxes and files to another attorney. And another attorney got them, right? At the time, he wanted the boxes back. That didn't make sense. So when we discovered a walkie-talkie in the boxes, You know, nobody puts something in the box that they're going through the exact same way. So the walkie-talkie, my guess, probably was in one box, and when they looked at everything and reading through everything, and they was asking me about this walkie-talkie, they had put it in another box. Kenner, a guy named Steve that works for Kenner, went and grabbed the boxes from another lawyer he has it. Went and stole the wrong boxes that the walkie-talkie was in, but we still got the walkie-talkie. I said, send me a picture of it. So on my tablet, they can send photos, so they sent me a photo of the walkie-talkie. It blew me away. One part of me, it made my blood boil. Another part of me, I just seen Tupac's face flash all in my mind. I see these motherfuckers involved with the assassination. So I tell Kenner about it. I said, David Kenner, you said you didn't have a walkie-talkie. Now you had one. Now you had one. Now you had one. So after that, our relationship after 30-some years went cold. He went and told the judges. He started trying to pull off my case. He tried to sabotage my case.
So there it is, Suge Knight, raw, unfiltered, and with no more reason to protect anybody. Whether it's self-preservation, redemption, or a final act of revenge from behind the wall, this may be the most revealing moment in the entire Tupac Shakur case since 1996. And what if he's saying is true? That a legal team, a security detail, and even close friends knew about a plan to take Tupac out, then the story we thought we knew is dead in the water. So I ask you, is Suge finally telling the truth, or is this just another chapter in a decades-long saga of smoke, mirrors, and secrets? Was it a hit? Who is really behind it? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because I read them all. Make sure you subscribe too. It's your boy Misguided Media. I'm out.